Chosen one, heaven is releasing your backlog. Floodgates open. It's happening now, even if your eyes haven't fully seen it yet. The shift is no longer approaching. It's here. Something in the air feels different, and deep within your spirit, you've known this moment was destined. You've waited patiently, endured long seasons of delay, fought invisible wars, and carried the weight of unfulfilled promises. But now, chosen one, the floodgates are open. What was once locked is now being loosed. What was once paused is now flowing. What was once denied is now being released. In waves. Heaven is no longer holding back. The accumulation of favor, opportunity, and divine timing is now reaching you like a tidal wave that was always meant for you. And with that surge comes the backlog. Everything that was held, everything that was delayed, everything that should have come but didn't. This is not a random blessing. This is restoration. This is recompense. This is your divine receipt of everything you were promised, pressed down, shaken together, and now overflowing. And as you feel this message resonate in your bones, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this isn't just a season. This is the correction of seasons that tried to erase your purpose. Watch this video till the end and type in the comments your warmest wishes and the number 99 as we step into this chapter of wishes coming true and energizing the entire universe with our faith and focus. Chosen one, this is about everything you were meant to have but didn't yet. Every closed door that confused you, every no that disguised a divine yes, every moment you thought God forgot about you, while heaven was preparing to unleash something even greater. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was positioning. You were never forgotten, you were being preserved. While others ran ahead, your destiny was building up behind the scenes, gathering momentum, accumulating like a storm in your favor. This is a backlog of breakthroughs, a holy release of the overdue. If you've felt stuck, this message is your movement. If you've been quieted, this message is your announcement. If you've been hidden, this message is your revelation. It may look like it's happening fast now, but make no mistake. This flood has been forming for years. Every tear, every sacrifice, every silent act of obedience, it was never wasted. They became part of the divine inventory, waiting to be poured into your life the moment heaven declared, now has arrived. And with it comes the flood, not to drown you, but to carry you, to lift you, to sweep you into everything that always belonged to you. Opportunities will begin to chase you. Solutions will appear without you forcing them. Delayed payments, unseen rewards, and dormant dreams are being reactivated, re-energized, and restored. This isn't luck. This isn't chance. This is heaven's order, finally catching up to your timeline. It's time to receive the release. You were never waiting for blessings. The blessings were waiting for the right version of you. The evolved, expanded, and unshakable you. The floodgates don't open for the same person who once cried at the closed ones. They open for the one who chose growth over bitterness, who kept walking even when nothing moved, who believed in light even in the darkest chapters. That's who you've become. That's why this is your moment. This is why the gates couldn't remain closed any longer. There are things you forgot you prayed for that are still on the way. There are things you gave up on that heaven never did. This release will come in forms both expected and unimaginable. Relationships repaired, resources recovered, respect reinstated. It's a divine chain reaction. As one area opens, the rest follow. And when it begins, don't be surprised if it overwhelms you at first. You're not used to this level of flow yet. But soon, this abundance will become your new normal. It will feel like everything is happening at once, because heaven has no interest in giving you a trickle when you were promised a flood. Expect calls out of nowhere. Expect confirmations that make your jaw drop. Expect people who forgot you to suddenly remember you. Expect doors to fly open with no knocking required. This is what backlog release looks like. Not a drop here and there, but a wave that rewrites your timeline. Every overlooked effort is now being celebrated in the unseen realm. Every quiet act of discipline is now turning into visible elevation. What you sowed in silence is being shouted from rooftops. This is not your imagination. This is divine orchestration, and you will not need to explain yourself anymore. The evidence is about to show up and speak louder than anything you could ever say. The very things that were withheld from you are about to become the landmarks of your rise. Let go of the idea that you're late. You're right on time for the miraculous. Let go of the fear that too much time has passed. The backlog holds everything that time tried to take. You're not running out. You're being rained on. You're not too far behind. You're finally in sync. Watch how fast everything changes when heaven's timing aligns with your journey. It's already in motion. All you have to do now is stay open, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Let the wave carry you. This overflow isn't just for survival, it's for demonstration. You're not just receiving for yourself. You're becoming proof for others. Proof that the delays were divine. Proof that alignment is more powerful than acceleration. Proof that when heaven opens its gates, no force on earth can close them. You are being used to show what it looks like when someone doesn't give up, even when everything told them to. What's being released now will feel like everything at once: love, money, healing, clarity, promotion, and peace. But know this, it's all part of the same miracle. You're not just getting gifts, you're stepping into a new gravitational field, one where lack no longer sticks to you, one where you attract more than you chase, one where your past becomes a footnote and your future becomes the headline. The flow is yours now. Your story is changing. Your status is rising, and nothing can stop it anymore. The reason it took so long is because the floodgates weren't being opened for temporary relief. They were being prepared for a lifetime of overflow. You were never meant to live in drought. You were meant to be a river, to carry more, to nourish others with your story and your strength. The weight made you stronger. The silence made you wiser, and the pain made you real. That's why heaven can trust you with this release. You won't waste it. You'll expand it. And even now, as you read this, there's something shifting. Don't ignore that inner stirring. That's your confirmation. That's the soul-level recognition that what's been released is already headed your way. Not later, not someday. Now, you've been holding space for miracles that hadn't arrived yet. That waiting room was heavy, wasn't it? Watching others receive while you remained patient. But what if I told you that every time you celebrated someone else's win, you were planting seeds into your own overflow? What if I told you that heaven kept score, not just of your actions, but of your intentions, your silence, your unseen sacrifices? You were building a balance, a spiritual credit of faith, and now it's time for the withdrawal. Every seed is returning multiplied. This is the hour where the things that once didn't make sense now become pieces of the masterpiece. The denials, they weren't dismissals, they were detours to something better. The pauses, they weren't problems, they were protections. You've grown wiser, sharper, and more attuned to truth through every quiet disappointment. And now that you're calibrated to clarity, heaven says, Release it all. You're not walking into the flood. You're becoming the flood. You're becoming the force that rewrites rooms, conversations, timelines, and possibilities. People will feel the shift in your presence. You won't even have to announce it. The energy around you will say everything. This isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about divine presence, becoming undeniable. Heaven is endorsing your elevation. And when heaven writes your name on the gates, no one can erase it. This season is going to feel unfair, in your favor. People won't understand how you got what you did. They won't see the silent nights, the inner wars, the resilience you built in the dark. They won't understand that your flood came from underground, pressure, pain, and deep patience. But they'll see the results, and you won't need to prove anything. You'll just need to walk, confidently, gracefully, and gratefully, into everything already assigned to you. There's no more delay, no more almost, no more one day. It's here. This divine backlog is being distributed like waves crashing over a dry desert. And your soul will finally exhale. It will whisper, "I knew it wasn't all for nothing." This is what fulfillment tastes like. Not rushed, not random, but right, fully right. You're not desperate anymore. You're delivered. And the flow that's coming now will feel like a rhythm your spirit already recognizes, because it was always meant for you. Start to see differently. Start to walk differently. Because with the release comes responsibility. You can no longer shrink to fit who you used to be. You're not the person who once begged for crumbs. You're the person who's about to manage overflow. And that comes with a new posture, a new environment, and yes, a new level of boldness. You're no longer knocking. You're walking through doors that are already swinging wide open. Get ready for divine reversals. Places that rejected you will send new invitations. People who overlooked you will now request you. Environments that once felt cold will feel like they were waiting for your arrival. It will almost feel surreal, as if life is catching up to the vision you always had. But this time, it's real. This time, you're not imagining. This time, you're living in what you once prayed through. And not only are you about to receive, you're about to reign. This release isn't just about getting what you lost. It's about gaining what was always too big to arrive in your former season. Your old life couldn't hold this level. Your old patterns couldn't sustain this power. That's why the delay had to happen. Because now, you're finally aligned. You're finally mature enough to carry what you once only dreamed about. And let me tell you something powerful. This is only the beginning. What's arriving now is just the first wave. It's the opening note of a much greater song. You're not just stepping into blessings. You're stepping into a system of supernatural favor. A pipeline has opened. The dam has broken. And now, everything flows to you with ease, direction, and divine coordination. Watch how heaven does in days what effort couldn't do in years. The timeline is accelerating. The divine algorithm has selected you. The path is illuminated. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will go to waste. Even the parts you thought were dead are being resurrected. Even the closed chapters are now reference points for how far you've come. There is no shame in the waiting. There is only glory in the rising. You will rise differently now, not by force, but by flow. Not by pushing, but by allowing. This is what happens when the floodgates open. It's not about striving anymore. It's about aligning. You don't need to chase. You need to channel. Let what's meant for you locate you. Let the divine order rearrange every piece of your life until it reflects the truth that you were always chosen, even in your lowest moments. And yes, You may feel overwhelmed. The beauty, the momentum, the suddenness of it all. But don't panic. This overflow was built for you. Heaven didn't rush it. Heaven didn't forget. Heaven didn't cancel. It simply waited. For your readiness, for your maturity, for your alignment. And now that you've become the vessel that can handle it, everything is being rerouted to your address. You're not missing out. You're being made whole. The floodgates are open. Your backlog is being released. Your name is being whispered in rooms your feet haven't entered yet. Your favor is being multiplied with divine speed. And your timeline, once filled with question marks, is being rewritten with exclamation points. So breathe, receive, expect. Because this is not temporary. This is the turning point. And from this moment on, nothing will ever be the same again. You'll begin to notice the shift, not just around you, but within you. Your instincts will sharpen. Your discernment will elevate. You won't feel the same gravitational pull toward the things that once distracted you. Your mind, once clouded with survival mode thoughts, will suddenly clear like a sky after a storm. The decisions that used to feel heavy will become light. The paths that used to be confusing will become obvious. Why? Because the fog is lifting. The dam is broken. You're no longer walking in circles. You're soaring forward. Chosen one, this isn't about a single opportunity or a financial breakthrough. It's about a spiritual alignment so perfect that it touches every corner of your life. The backlog you're receiving doesn't arrive in isolation. It's tied to connections, healing, clarity, abundance, and transformation. You won't just receive blessings, you'll start becoming the blessing, and the world will respond accordingly. Expect strange favor. Expect divine collisions. Expect to be remembered by people you thought forgot you. Expect to be invited into spaces where no one from your past expected you to be. Your name, your energy, your frequency, it's all being amplified. You are the vibration of answered prayer, and the universe is responding accordingly. Nothing can go back to how it used to be, because you aren't who you used to be. And now that the flow has found you, it will not stop. You are entering an era where everything multiplies: ideas, income, love, power, presence. And it won't require you to burn out or hustle yourself into exhaustion. This is divine speed, not human speed. This is acceleration, without stress. Heaven's hand is now guiding the pace. What once took years will now take days. The things you were denied before, they weren't losses. They were simply delays until your capacity grew. And now that you can carry more will arrive. You'll begin to feel it in your sleep, in your dreams, in your spirit. An unshakable knowing. A sense that what's coming is even bigger than what you asked for. It will feel like déjà vu, but not from this lifetime. A remembering of promises made long before your earthly awareness ever formed. This flood was not an afterthought. It was a written part of your soul contract. It was always going to happen this way. You just had to hold the line. And you did. You stayed faithful when you had no evidence. You stayed grounded when everything around you was trying to shake you loose. You kept showing up, loving, giving, growing, waiting. Not because it was easy, but because you knew somewhere deep that something extraordinary was ahead. That deep place was your spirit, and your spirit never lies. It knows what the mind forgets. You're destined for more. And now the more is showing up. You will not just experience breakthrough. You will become an atmosphere of breakthrough. People will be healed simply by being in your presence. Peace will follow you into every room. Solutions will find you before you even ask the question. You'll walk into places and shift the energy without saying a word. Not because of ego, but because of divine positioning. Because the flow is real. Because the energy has changed. Because the gates are wide open and you are no longer hiding. You are no longer waiting your turn. You are in your turn. This is your moment. And the longer you stay anchored in this truth, the more unstoppable the momentum becomes. This is when the tables turn. The same people who once dismissed you will wonder how you got here. But they won't know the cost. They won't see the wilderness. They'll just see the flood and think it came out of nowhere. But you'll know. You'll know it was all earned through fire and faith. There is something remarkable happening in your timeline now. A divine rewiring. The cycles that used to repeat are breaking. The loops of lack, the cycles of silence, the patterns of pain, gone. This flood isn't just external, it's internal. It's washing out the residue of old beliefs that told you to settle, to fear, to dim your light. The backlog isn't just blessings, it's clarity, it's power, it's new eyes to see that you were never behind. You were always becoming. Your voice is about to carry weight. The things you say will land with impact. The ideas you used to whisper will now roar, and the spaces that once felt too big for you will now feel like home, because your energy has finally caught up with your purpose. Your readiness has reached critical mass, and now nothing can remain the same. This is not a season to hesitate. This is a season to respond boldly. Say yes when the door opens. Say yes to the expansion. Say yes to the discomfort that comes with growth. Because every stretch is part of the release. Every elevation requires a new posture. You're not being punished, you're being pulled higher. And now that the gates are open, you can't afford to shrink. You must rise. And don't be afraid of losing people on the way up. Some were only assigned to your waiting room, not your launch pad. And that's okay. Bless them and keep moving. The flood doesn't wait. The release doesn't rewind. It flows where it's invited, where it's honored, where it's understood. Protect this new wave. Guard your energy. Choose your circles wisely. Because what's coming next will require focus, not approval. There is nothing small about what is happening to you. This is massive. This is multidimensional. This is miraculous. And you, chosen one, were hand-selected to carry this current into the world. You're not just receiving, you're channeling. You're becoming a river. Others will drink from your overflow, and your life will become evidence that backlog blessings are real, that divine timing is sovereign, and that when heaven opens, no one can close it. Chosen one, when heaven releases what's been stored up, you don't receive at the level of the past. You receive at the level of your preparation. This is why the wait was long. The delay wasn't random. The silence wasn't neglect. The pain wasn't punishment. All of it was part of the grand design. The moments you spent confused and questioning were carving out space inside you, not to leave you empty, but to make room for what was coming. Now that the backlog is being poured into your life, you'll see why it had to be this way. This release comes with a revelation. You are the container for what the old you could never carry. You've been expanded, stretched, refined. You've been broken open, not to destroy you, but to increase your capacity. The blessings coming in this wave aren't lightweight. They come with weight, responsibility, stewardship, and expansion. And you're ready now, more than you ever have been. That readiness is not loud. It's rooted, quiet, stable, clear. You're going to notice how much lighter you feel, even as your life becomes fuller. Because the heaviness is not about how much you hold. It's about how aligned it is with your soul. The flow of this backlog feels different. It's not chaotic. It's not overwhelming in the wrong way. It's peaceful. It's powerful. It feels like home. It will feel like breathing for the first time after years of holding your breath. Because it was never supposed to be hard forever. It was supposed to be holy. And now it is. You will begin to attract solutions at the speed of surrender. What does that mean? It means the more you let go of control, the faster things begin to resolve. No more chasing. No more begging. No more proving. You are magnetic now, not because you're trying to be, but because you're finally aligned with the river that was always running in your direction. You're not demanding blessings anymore. You're receiving them by default. Because the backlog isn't just about what you want. It's about what's owed to your spirit. It's divine justice. It's spiritual recompense. It's the invisible becoming visible. The things that once lived only in your heart are now showing up in your hands. Ideas are becoming income. Dreams are becoming contracts. Visions are becoming platforms. Everything that was once a someday is now a now. And the pace of your life will reflect this. Watch how one door leads to 5 more. Watch how one yes becomes 1,000 echoes. Your timeline is no longer linear. It's layered, compounded, supercharged. What was meant to take 10 years will now take 10 weeks. What was blocked by circumstance is now being backed by heaven. What used to feel impossible is now unfolding effortlessly. And as this begins, don't be surprised if it all feels like a blur. That's the nature of release. When the floodgates open, everything moves fast. But don't mistake speed for instability. This time, your feet are planted. You are rising, but you are grounded. You are soaring, but you are steady. The people who left you behind, don't hold grudges. They were never supposed to walk through this season with you. They wouldn't recognize this version of you. They weren't equipped to handle the glory that's now showing up in your atmosphere. Some only knew you by your struggle, and this version of you, living in divine overflow, is unrecognizable to them. That's okay. Let them go. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Your only task now is to remain in alignment. Stay in flow. Stay in integrity. You don't have to shout. You don't have to chase. You don't have to correct people's perceptions of you. The evidence will speak for itself. Your life is becoming a loud declaration that divine timing is real, and heaven never forgets. You will become living proof that when heaven releases a backlog, it does so with precision and power. And there's something else you must know. This isn't just for you. You are a channel. You are a vessel. Your overflow is designed to create space for others. You are becoming a portal for breakthrough. What you receive is meant to pour into lives around you. Your presence will unlock things in others. Your story will awaken possibilities in those who gave up hope. Your journey will whisper to someone else, "You're next." You've become a walking confirmation. Every room you enter, every platform you touch, every word you speak, it will carry frequency. You don't need to convince anyone. Your presence will do that. This is the kind of elevation that can't be imitated. It can't be faked. It's earned in silence. And when it arrives, it radiates. You've outgrown the old narrative. The story of suffering without purpose is over. The chapter of confusion and contradiction is complete. What begins now is flow, divine flow, effortless progress, guided acceleration, strategic expansion. You will be led to the right conversations, the right rooms, the right resources. You won't have to push them open. They'll be unlocked before you arrive. Expect sudden clarity. Expect unexpected encounters. Expect massive returns from directions you weren't even watching. That's how backlog blessings work. They don't come through your logic. They come through your alignment. The spiritual accounts that have been accumulating are being released in full. And you won't need to scramble to collect them. They'll come to you. In fact, they're already coming. And remember this, what's being released is permanent. This isn't temporary hype. This isn't a fleeting moment. This is structural change. This is the new normal. You won't return to dry seasons. You won't relapse into lack. You're building something sustainable, something generational, something unstoppable. The flood isn't here to impress you. It's here to transform you. You're not just living through a breakthrough. You're birthing a new blueprint. Chosen one, you have been elevated into a position of creative authority. The backlog being released isn't just a delivery of what was delayed, it's a transfer of power. It's the universe handing you the pen and saying, now write the rest of your life from overflow. You're no longer a passive participant in this timeline. You're an active architect, and you're building materials, alignment, intention, and divine trust. This is where your faith becomes strategy, not blind hope, but anchored vision, not reaction, but creation. You're not just rising, you're designing the world you were always meant to walk in. And everything you touch from this point on will carry the residue of overflow. Even your smallest moves will create massive ripples. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your decisions will open doors, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. Because this backlog, it's not only for your current needs, it's multidimensional, it's ancestral, it's generational. You're receiving on behalf of the ones who didn't make it this far, the ones who dreamed but never saw, the ones who hoped but never harvested. Heaven is using you as a bridge, as a portal, as a vessel. And through you, legacy is being restored. Cycles are being broken. Family lines are being rewritten. That's why it feels so intense. That's why it feels so surreal. Because this isn't just about money, opportunities, or status. This is about restoration of lineage, redemption of timelines, reconciliation of what was once lost. You are the one who said yes. You are the one who carried the spiritual weight when it felt unbearable. And now you're receiving the reward that was meant to be distributed over lifetimes, all being funneled into your moment. The pressure that once broke you is now promoting you. The silence that once scared you is now speaking for you. And the delays that once discouraged you have turned into divine timing that makes people stop and ask, how did it all come together like that? But you'll know, you'll remember, that it wasn't sudden, it was sacred, that it didn't appear out of nowhere, it was arriving all along. And this is the part where you learn to live in overflow, not just visit it, not just taste it, but embody it. Let it become your new language. Let it become your new identity. The old version of you was trained in survival, but the new you is being equipped for stewardship. You're not scraping anymore. You're strategizing. You're not hoping anymore. You're building. And your foundation is no longer fear. It's divine flow. Expect to feel unfamiliar in familiar places. The rooms you used to walk into and shrink, you will now stand tall in. The people who once intimidated you, you'll now meet as equals. The systems that once rejected you, you'll now disrupt with innovation. This backlog has given you more than things. It has given you presence, clarity, identity. Your authority isn't loud. It's undeniable. There will be moments in the coming days where you pause and feel emotional for no reason. That's your body catching up to the spiritual shift. That's your nervous system adjusting to safety. For the first time in a long time, maybe in your whole life, you're not in survival mode anymore. You're in reception mode. You're learning what it feels like to live without fear, to exist without tension, to wake up and trust the rhythm of divine provision. And you're not hallucinating. These new doors, these sudden blessings, these mind-blowing shifts, they're real. You're not dreaming. You're not imagining it. You're not being overly optimistic. You're finally seeing reality as it was always intended for you. The curtain has been lifted. The blockage is gone. The energy has cleared. And now, you get to live it. Fully, freely, fearlessly. You will no longer minimize your needs to make others comfortable. You will no longer dim your success to remain relatable. You will no longer explain away your elevation. You are not lucky. You are not just getting a break. You are in alignment. You are in motion. You are in overflow. And it's only going to grow from here. There is nothing small about this moment. So don't shrink yourself. Don't apologize for how good life starts to feel. Don't backpedal when things begin to move fast. The flood doesn't ask permission. It moves. It fills. It shifts the shape of everything it touches. And that's exactly what you're doing now, shaping reality by your very presence. There are people who need to witness this version of you, not because of your accolades, but because of your authenticity. You are proof that even those who lose everything can receive it back tenfold. You are proof that patience pays off. You are proof that silent seasons are the soil for the loudest breakthroughs. You are not just receiving miracles, you are becoming one. And as this flood continues, let it wash away any final doubts. Let it cleanse the inner critic. Let it heal the wounds left by years of misalignment. You no longer have to perform. You no longer have to pretend. You're no longer climbing toward approval. You're rooted in truth. And from that root, fruit will flourish in every direction. You are nourished. You are chosen. You are activated. This is more than breakthrough. This is a new way of being, a higher way of walking, a sacred way of living. You've passed the test. You've held the vision. And now, chosen one, the divine has responded with a flood that will never run dry. You didn't just survive. You crossed over. You made it to the other side of the drought, and now the very landscape around you is responding. What was once barren is now blooming. What once felt like resistance is now flowing. The gates that were shut for so long are open now, and they're staying open. Chosen one, this is the season where your name becomes the answer to someone else's prayer, where your journey becomes a light post for those still walking through darkness. You are not stepping into spotlight for ego. You are stepping into visibility for purpose. You were never meant to hide forever. You were meant to shine. And now, heaven is placing you on platforms that match the magnitude of your mission. There's no more explaining, no more seeking validation, no more returning to old spaces out of loyalty to limitation. You are not who you used to be. You are not where you used to be, and you can't be what you used to be. You've been upgraded on every level, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, even energetically. You're vibrating at a frequency now that only alignment can hear. Anything that doesn't match your new level will either fall away or be transformed in your presence. This final wave of release is not scattered or shallow. It's deep, intentional, and tailored just for you. The relationships coming now are rooted in truth. The opportunities now are customized to your capacity. The flow now moves with you, not against you. Even when things move fast, they won't feel chaotic, because you are flowing from within, because your soul is no longer chasing timing, it is the timing. The backlog has not just restored time, it has redeemed time. Everything you thought you missed is being returned with interest, not just what was lost, but what was due. Every silent sacrifice is now becoming visible reward. Every invisible seed is now an undeniable harvest. You're being compensated not only for what you did, but for what you became while waiting. You became the version of yourself that could hold it. You became trustworthy, with power, with peace, with prosperity. You are no longer fragile under pressure. You are forged, weathered, wise. And because of that, the overflow coming your way will not break you. It will build you. It will expand you. It will anchor you in a rhythm of receiving that never runs dry. This is when people begin to ask, how did this happen so fast? But it didn't happen fast. It happened silently. It happened internally. It happened consistently. And now that it's visible, it only looks sudden. But the truth is, you've been growing into this moment for years. You've been rising in the dark. And now, the light is finally catching up. There's nothing left to chase. You are the magnet now. You are the force, the conduit, the current. When heaven releases the backlog, it's not a gift, it's a signal. A message that says, you're ready. And now you must walk like you're ready. Decide like you're ready. Speak like you're ready. Build like you're ready. Love like you're ready. Because everything that's flowing into your life will require you to show up as your fullest self. Not the version of you that was waiting, but the one that's receiving. Release the last of the doubt. Let it wash away with the flood. There is no room for hesitation now. You're not in a test anymore. You're in the testimony. This is your divine return. This is your spiritual payday. And it will continue. It will evolve. It will keep unfolding in layers. New opportunities, new alignments, new revelations. Everything is yours now. Not because you forced it, but because you stayed faithful. You stayed true. You remained aligned when it would have been easier to give up. And now that you've crossed the line, now that heaven has released the storehouse, the rest of your journey will be marked by rhythm, not resistance, by vision, not confusion, by wholeness, not lack. You will sleep deeper. You will wake lighter. You will laugh again. Not forced laughter, but the kind that bubbles up from the soul. Because you'll no longer be carrying the weight of what was missing. It's been returned to you with power, with purity, with overflow. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back at this moment and whisper to yourself, this was the turning point. This was when everything shifted. And you'll be right. Heaven has released your backlog. The floodgates are open. Let it flow. Let it rise. Let it build. Because you, chosen one, are ready now.